Good morning. Good morning to you. Good morning to you. If you want to see what we're doing, we're actually live right now on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, and LinkedIn. If you want to see our examples, if you want to see us today, as well as hear us on Clubhouse, you may be just on Clubhouse, but if you have a secondary device like a laptop or a tablet or something, you can actually see what we're doing. If you're a visual type person, you may want to see the examples we put up on the screen. So go there and go ahead and log in. So we're going to get started here today. And today we're talking about paying off all of your debt in an average of 7 to 9 years, but just with a little twist because it's tax time. It is tax time. And I'm here to tell you that most of you are okay with being taxed at the 70 to 80% rate. Yeah. And some of you are being taxed at over 100%, maybe even 139%. Can you imagine being taxed more money than you're actually making? Why would anybody do that? Why would anybody sign up for that? That's what we're going to be talking about today. What if you knew that you were being taxed? What if somebody could show you that you're actually okay with being taxed at 70%, 80%, 90%, 139%? You're okay with that. We're going to get into that today because we're going to be talking about your money, the money that you're connected to. Oh, wow. But first, before we get into that, I need to share with you all something right now. Go ahead and start sharing this room. Okay, because that's the only way people can see it in the hallway. You may not be able to see how many people share. All right, because it seems to be broken for some reason. We can't see the number of shares anymore. But if you share it, I can tell you by checking. All right, I can check up above. I can check the insights. And so far, there are only 2 shares. Could I prevail upon you as just some social currency, because we're going to be giving out some good information here. All right. So listen, Perry Jones Jr. has come into the room and he's watching us from YouTube. And he says, teach, King, because that's what we're going to be talking about. We're going to be teaching today. So continue to share this room so that you can know that you are connected to your money. It is not distant from you. It is not something that is outside of you. What do I mean by that? There is a connection between you and your money. Whether you got your money through relationship, that's a connection. Whether you got your money from an idea and you sold it, that is money that is connected to you because it was a product of your idea. Your money is connected to you because it could be a product of your effort, of your sweat, of your actual work, trading your time for money. It could be now that you have the money and you made more money by investing it wisely and you made more money. That money is even connected to you. So your money is a product of you somehow. And here is what I want to tell you about your money. If your money's connected to you, then it's part of you. Do you want to be everything you can be? Everything that you were intended to be? You see, I've never seen a tree that actually thought to itself, you know what? In my DNA, I'm supposed to be 100 feet tall. In my DNA, in the tree's DNA, it's supposed to be 100 feet tall. But the tree says, you know what? I'm okay with being 25 feet tall. And so I'm not going to be everything I'm supposed to be. I'm going to choose to be 25 feet tall instead of what I was intended to be. Human beings are the only part of God's creation that can choose not to be everything you were intended to be. And your money is part of you. Even the Bible says money answers all things. So, in terms of how do we view our entire world? Are we part of it or are we outside of it? Are you present? I need you to just stop right now and feel yourself breathe. Are you a part of the world? Are you separated from it? Are you integrated into a whole program that's supposed to be the very best you're supposed to be? Are all you, come on, Don, talk. Or are you okay with just existing? Do you want to flourish? Do you want to just be okay? I don't want to be okay. I don't want to be just okay. I want to be more than okay. I want to be all that I'm intended to be, and I want to manage the resources I have been given to manage. And I want to manage it well. And I want you to know that there are people out there are institutions out there that depend on you not to manage your money efficiently. And the more you are unaware of that, the more money they will take from you. And not only will they take it from you, you'll be okay with it because you have been conditioned to be okay with it. The purpose of this program is to make sure you have a new relationship with your money and that you can build what you were supposed to build, a legacy for your family. And not only that, to be an example and to be a teacher. That's why you were put here, to be an example and to be a teacher, so that you can help other people get understand their relationship to their money and grow it. Because right now you're being taxed. You're being taxed at 70 to 80%. I want to show you how you're being taxed and show that how you're okay with it right after we hear from someone else who found out they were being taxed. Someone else that did not have a clear relationship with their money until they found the P.I.L.L method and they said, you know what? I've been giving too much of my family's money away in interest, just giving it away, not understanding how it really works. So Dr. Eric Thomas found about the P.I.L.L method and said, listen, let's cut our interest cost by 75%, pay off all of our debt in record time, and bring peace to my wife's heart. Listen to him right now.
Listen to me, y'all. But one of his mentees took us through one of their programs, and I paid off my mortgage. But guess what happened? My marriage went to a whole nother level. And you know why? Because my wife is a security freak. And even when I blew up, my wife would be like, oh, you blew up, but how long is you gonna keep making this kind of money? I was like, I don't know, forever. She's like, you sure? Because I'm gonna keep my license as a nurse just in case you don't. So when I paid the house off, my boy was like, you ain't gotta do that, you can do this. But when I paid the house off using that program, it took the stress level all the way down for my wife because we no longer had a mortgage. Does that make sense? That thing that was coming every month, that was getting on her nerves, we didn't have that no more. And so she was at rest.
All right, folks, what's Don talking about today? What is he talking about that why he's talking about that you're okay with being taxed at 70%, 80%, and some of you even 139%. Okay. What if we were talking about buying a new car? Buying a new car. And when you buy something, there is a tax on that, sales tax. What if you bought a car for $50,000 and found out that you had to pay another $50,000 as tax on the $50,000 you were spending? How many of you would want to buy a car if it was going to be taxed at 100% of what you were spending? Is that how you want to live your life? What if you had to buy groceries every week, every month, and every single dollar you spent on groceries, you're being taxed at 100% of what you spent? You spent $1,000 on groceries? Well, there's $1,000 tax on those groceries. So yeah, you wouldn't like that? Well, I'm going to prove today that you are okay with that. If you want to see what I'm getting ready to put on the screen to show you what I mean, and we're going to do the math. I'm going to bring up a calculator. We're going to do the math today. Okay. So I'm going to finish putting up information here on the screen. I'm clicking the wrong stuff because I'm so excited today. I'm excited. So we're going to cancel this. I'm going to put up my extra camera so we can have that in the studio. And then we're going to share this screen. Oh, wow. So if you want to see what we're doing, go to YouTube right now. And don't forget to click on the notification bell. You want to subscribe to our YouTube channel. We're growing our YouTube channel, folks. So we need your help to do that as well. All right, so let's do this. I'm going to let me see, put the camera up. Let me see. We need to share the camera. Share the screen. Sorry about that. Then entire screen. And there we are. Okay. So now I'm going to bring up on this screen our amortization schedule, because you need to see how we're being taxed. Okay. You need to see how we're being taxed. There it is. All right. So boom. Brett Whistle. All right, there it is. So we're going to bring that up, folks. We're going to bring that up, and I need you to see how you're being taxed. I need you to start sharing this with everyone, and I need you to understand. And the reason why I need you to see this is because even seasoned investors, people who make their living investing money, don't understand this. Real estate investors don't understand this. Accountants don't understand what I'm getting ready to show you right now. Mortgage professionals don't understand what I'm getting ready to show you right now. But bankers, people who own the banks, they understand all about what I'm getting ready to show you right now. And their whole goal is to condition all of us to be okay with being taxed at this rate, so they can get rich, so that they can enrich themselves and make even more money. Oh man, you got to see this. I'm putting on, just something very simple, $200,000. Let me go ahead and put this on $200,000 at 6% interest. Okay, there's our payment. And here's what I want to show you. This family is buying this house, at $200,000. And I want to show you how we are being conditioned to be taxed at a very high rate. They're borrowing $200,000. Okay? And they're in a nice house. But they're okay with paying $231,676 interest on that house. Folks, that's not 6%. That's 115. Look over here. Are you seeing this? If you're new to the room, you need to be on YouTube right now so that we can get reconnected with our money. All right. 115.838%. How in the world can we be okay with that? And we go on making we're actually paying more for some. Listen, what if we were taxed like that on everything we bought? We buy a house, we're taxed at 115.838%. We're going to pay more in interest than we borrowed in principal. I'm going to borrow money. I'm going to pay back the money plus more money than I borrowed as a tax. Oh man. You listen. Let me show you how this thing starts out. Let me show you how it starts out, but it ends up even more. All right, let's do the math. I'm scrolling down here. I'm going to blow this up, and I want to show you what I'm talking about, because when they start making the payments, everybody's okay with this. Okay, everybody's okay with it. I'm putting a calculator on the screen. I want to show you something. On this very first payment, $199.10 goes to principal. That means out of the $1199.10, $199.10 goes to principal. That's it. $199.10 goes to principal. $1,000 goes to interest. You're working hard to make the money, but somehow we can divorce ourselves from the fact that that money did not come from my blood, sweat, and tears. And it's okay to make that money, but give most of it away to somebody else so that my family can't benefit from that money, from my blood, sweat, and tears. I'm okay with that. So let me show you what I'm talking about. If out of that money that I just spent, $1,000 went to interest. So let me put in the $1,000 in this calculator that I spent on interest, or I was taxed on my payment. Okay, $1,000, and then I'm going to divide it by the entire payment, which is $1199.10 equals 83%. 83%. On that payment, I'm being taxed at 83%. Is there anybody in this room? Is there anybody in the room that's okay with being taxed at 83%? I want to see it in the chat. I want you to come up on stage and talk to me. Are you okay with being taxed at 83%? Put it in the chat right now. Come up on the stage, raise your hand. Come talk to me. All right. Let me see. Invite to speak. All right. Bernita, how are you doing this morning?
Hey, Don, Grand Rising.
Same to you. What do you have to say about this subject of being taxed?
Don, everyone. Bernita Adele tapping in. I was just in the audience shaking my head, Don, shaking my head. But I think this is the first time I've really heard you reframe it in terms of interest. It's like being taxed on your payment. And I think you also hit on something that is critical, is that in being groomed as consumers, we get comfortable with this just being the way that it is. I recently spoke with someone about how, we're not actually obligated to pay interest, many of us were choosing to do it willingly because someone told us that this is the way that it's done. We keep these balances, making payment because that's what we're comfortable with. But no, I don't want to be taxed. And that 83%, whoo, Don, can I get out of debt any faster? I'm ready for it. I'm ready to get out.
Well, listen, thank you for coming in and sharing that with all of us. Is there anybody else in the audience that echoes that sentiment? All right, put it in the chat. Come up to the stage. Let's talk about it today because I'm tired. I don't want to be taxed like that. I want to know the difference between now. Listen, let's see how far down this rabbit hole goes and how we're being conditioned to be okay with being taxed like that. And we don't even realize that we're doing it because we divorce ourselves from our money. We divorce ourselves from something that we have invested in. I've invested my time. I've invested my effort. I have invested my thoughts and my ideas. You see, some of us spend more time at work than we spend with our children. And we say that it's necessary to do. But then the very thing that you're working for, and you say you're taking care of your children, by divorcing yourself from the very thing that you're bringing home, you're okay with being taxed at this rate. Let me break it down for you a little bit further. Out of every dollar, what I'm showing you on the screen here, out of every dollar you pay at this point for that mortgage to provide a home for your family, do you really want to tell your children, this is how I want you to regard your money? I want you to grow up, and when you start paying for your house, 83% of what you're paying goes to somebody else. Let's break it down this way. 83 cents out of every dollar, out of all the money you've worked for, 83% out of your housing dollar goes to someone else. And you're buying your house with 17 cents out of every dollar. Is that what you want to tell your children? Do you want to get reconnected to your money and understand what's really going on, what our role is in society? If you want to know more about this, I need to stop right here and share with you how you can get reconnected with your money. It's through education and it's through technology. Through education and technology. What I'm getting ready to show you is this thing is bigger than you. You need to be connected with something that is going to even the playing field for you. If you think, Lord have mercy, if you think you can beat the bank at their own game with a pencil and paper and a dime store calculator, it ain't going to happen. You can't do it. I'm telling you, you can't do it. You need help. You need something that's going to stand between you and your money to make that connection. Oh my goodness. Listen, folks, if you come from a faith-based background, you just understood everything I just said, because you can't do this thing on your own. You need something to stand between you and your money and make the connection to put you back in control. Lord have mercy. We got 13 people online watching us. We have several people in the room watching us. And I need you to see what's happening here. So I need you to go to, let me put it at the top of the screen. ICE10K.com, ICE10K.com. So we're going to put it up there, pin the link. There it is. Go to that link. If you're on Clubhouse, go to the link and click on that. And then you'll be able to see another link that says get a savings and earnings report. That's going to be the start of understanding where you are with your money. Now, why am I saying this? Don, aren't there other people out there that talk about this? You know, like the Dave Ramseys of the world and the Susie Ormans. They are giving you a track to run on, but they're really not connecting you with your money. And the reason why they're not connecting you with your money is because they are still allowing you to be taxed at a very high rate. They're talking to you about how you can end your relationship with the bank by paying off debt. But they do it in such a way that you're going to pay 50 to 75% more interest, more tax than you need to, because nothing they tell you is taking into account the amount of tax you're paying on your money when you get into these loans. Have you ever heard any of them say, we are helping you to pay less tax on your borrowed money? Have you heard any of them say that? No, you have not. Because it's not part of what they're doing. They're not trying to reconnect you with your money. They're trying to they're trying to get you to do something that will slightly improve your situation, but not really reconnect you with being a steward of a resource that you've been put in charge of. You've been put in charge of this thing. What is the very best thing you could do to take care of it? So what we're going to do is show you, click on that link, go to the button that says get a savings and earnings report, fill it all out. Fill it all out. That's going to be the first step. When you do that step, someone from my office will give you a call and tell you the month, day, and year you're going to be debt free and how much tax or how much interest you can actually save. So what we're going to do is guarantee. I need you, listen, I'm looking straight into the camera. If you're watching me online, I'm looking straight into the camera. We will guarantee that by working with the P.I.L.L method, you will pay the least amount of tax or interest that is mathematically possible on your loans. I'll guarantee it. In writing. Guaranteed. You can't get better than that. And when you pay less tax, when you pay less interest on on that money you borrowed out of your budget, more of your money goes to do the very thing you signed up for. Pay the loan back. Pay it back. So now you can borrow money more efficiently. You can borrow it at a much lower interest cost. In fact, so much lower that when it's all said and done, the clients that work with us pay so little tax, so little interest on their money that when the math is done, they borrow that money at less than 1% interest as their effective interest rate. Meaning I had a 5% loan or a 4% loan or a 6% loan, but by the time I got done with this thing, using the intermediary, there's an intermediary here. There is education and there's technology. What's between me and that borrowed money? Education to understand the rules, and technology to give me exact instructions on what to do and when to do it, so that I can optimize the use of the resource I have been given. Folks, you can't beat anything better than that. And what a legacy to give your children, not just the money, but the understanding it takes to deal with that money. I need you to go ahead and continue to share this room to folks and go online. Listen, We got more people. We got more people going more and more online. They want to see these numbers. 83%. So what can we do? What can we do to get in charge of our money? Let me show you some things about being in charge of your money. All right. Oh, by the way, I almost forgot to tell you that sometimes you need a textbook. Sometimes you need to have something that you can hold. Right now, we have a book on Amazon. It's the only book on Amazon that explains this, that gives you the basics of what you need, the tools you need, and it explains to you the intermediary that you need to connect you back with your money. All right, so that you can optimize its use for its intended use, so that you can lay up develop resources for your family. So get the book today. And once you get that book, start reading the book and then start understanding the tools you need. And now it's not only understanding the tools, it's understanding why you need the tools and understanding why you can't do what you need to do on your own. Let's see, all things are old stuff. When this book is going to try to tell you everything in the future becomes new. Everything in the future about your money becomes new. It's a new awakening, being connected back to your money. And it starts with understanding and reading this book, because out of 33 million titles, it is the only book on Amazon that tells you the tools you need and why you need the tools, and proves to you that it's impossible for you to beat the bank at their own game with just a pencil and paper. Anybody who tells you all you have to do is, you can stop listening right there. No, it's not all you have to do is. Listen, they've been in this game for 89 years this year. 89 years they've been practicing this and keeping the information away from us that we're going to give you today. So start sharing the room right now. If you're online, share it with everybody that's out there. And I need you to respond to me online and on Clubhouse. Where are you listening from? Where are you watching us from? I need you to connect with this show today. All right. Connect with the show today. Where are you coming from? So Jennifer is in the house. All right. D. Smith is in the house. Armin Delikian is in the house. Chelsea is in the house. All right. And we have online, we got Percy. We got the Younger family back in the house this morning. All right. Good morning, everybody. Listen, I'm fired up this morning. How about you? How about Jonathan is back in the room, and Jenny is now here, and Kimberly, and some of you are here for the very first time. All right. So you see this amortization schedule? This is what we're given. We're given an amortization schedule, and Percy Jones is here from Florida, folks. Percy Jones Jr. from Florida. I need you to understand what's going on here. So we're going to break it. We're going to break it all the way down. We're going to start from the basics. And the whole attempt today is to show that we're being taxed at a very high rate, and you don't need to be taxed at that high rate. So let me pull up something that is very powerful here, and we're going to go over it. All right. And I just need to see where this ends up on our screens. Okay. And let me see what screen this ends up on. All right. It's not ending up on the right screen. All right. So let me shut this down. All right. Shut it down. And I need to move something over, and then we'll get started. Okay. There we are. Boom. All right, let's go ahead and get started here, folks. I'm putting something else up on the screen. All right. And it is how to pay off mortgages in 7 years, and all of your debt. It's just all of your debt. There's so much tax involved, so much interest involved in the very things that you're buying. All right. That once you understand the rules to the game, because the banks are using a formula that is very powerful. They're using a formula that is so powerful, it makes them trillions of dollars a day. I didn't say a year. I didn't say a month. I said it makes them trillions of dollars a day, only because we don't understand it. How long do you want to exist in the world and not understand the rules of your money? Oh my goodness. Listen, I want to be able to leverage the bank's money. I love the bank's money. I borrow it. Okay. I love what they do. I just don't love how they do it. I love what they do. I just don't love how they do it. Is that okay? Is that okay? So that we can understand that we are in business together. And to be in business together, you need to be educated as to how they're doing it. And I need you to think about this before we go one step further. Have you ever had a class on how loans actually work? How the bank makes its money, and how you can put in place a strategy that helps you so that you can borrow money at like 1% instead of 100%. How would you like that today? I need you to understand what we're talking about here. So let me go in here and show you right now. We're going to put this on the screen. 90% of the people you know with a mortgage will never own a home free and clear. They won't do it. They will not do it. But here, what you need to know, 30-year loans and all other debt, most of you can pay it off in 7 to 9 years when we reduce the tax. Vernita, are you still with us this morning? And if you are, I know you're busy, but when you are, flash your mic, come back in at any time, jump in at any time, because I want to ask you, if there was a way for you to reduce your tax, would you want to know it? If there was a way to reduce what you're paying to borrow money, would you want to know it? And reduce it to its mathematical minimum. Oh my, that's what we're talking about today. I see a party hat in here. Hi, Dee. Dee is in here. Dee has been on Clubhouse less than a week. That's why Dee has a party hat. And guess where Dee is? In this room. So listen, Dee, I need you to go up and teach people to follow your lead. Do you see at the top of the screen, P.I.L.L method in that little greenhouse? Go ahead and click on that and follow this club, because we're going to have more information like this for you, and follow your moderators. Okay. All right. Let me see here. All right. And let me see here. I'm going to get that done. And all right, make Vernita a moderator as well. Follow me, follow your moderators, and follow the club. All right. So, and shout out to her for being in this room today. All right. So here's what we're saying. You can pay off all of your debt in an average of 7 to 9 years by paying less interest. That is the goal here. Borrow money at a discount. 75 to 80% discount on your money. And here's where this is how you will not do it. You won't have to refinance your debt. You won't have to change your budget. You don't have to make more money. You don't have to make more money to accomplish this. And you don't have to sacrifice lifestyle. You don't have to just drive a 30-year-old car to make this happen. You don't have to stay home and not do anything, because my wife and I are getting ready to go on vacation, and you want to go on vacation. You want to create memories with your money. You don't want to always tell your family we can't afford it because we have to pay off the debt. That's crazy. While you're giving the bank 80%, 100% tax on your money, you're telling your family we can't go on vacation. Well, no. Who wants to live like that? Let's get reconnected, folks. Let's get reconnected today. All right. Reconnect today. And here's where you will not hear this information. Don't take the information here and run it by your accountant, your financial planner, or your banker. And the reason why you don't want to run it past them is because to get their licenses or to get their certifications, none of these people that I'm showing you right now on the screen have been educated as to how loans actually work. No one has. They don't get that in school, even in graduate school. They don't get it. All we get is how we can position ourselves to borrow a lot of money and pay it back with a high tax. That's the education we get. Just like the education you get that the way that education is structured is for you to be an employee instead of an employer. Think about it. Think about it. Okay. So, and these gurus won't tell you this either. Dave Ramsey, all right, Susie Orman, they have a different set of instructions. I'm not saying that their instructions haven't helped a lot of people. I'm just saying that their instructions are not these instructions. Their instructions don't connect you back to optimizing the use of the resource you have been given to manage. They have not. Gene Chatsky, Larry Burkett, nope. They don't either. Listen, they have a whole different set of rules and operation, SOPs, a whole different set. Not what we're talking about. We're talking about reconnecting and optimizing the use of your money. And why? The ability to read and defeat an amortization schedule, the very thing, the very formula that the bank is using, we have not been taught to read it, understand it, or take advantage of it. It's taking advantage of us. It's not taught at any level of financial education. And folks, as long as I've been doing this, no one has ever disagreed, no matter what they did in life. Listen, we had somebody here from the world. One of my clients is an employee at the World Bank, in DC. And she says she didn't get this education either until the P.I.L.L method. Wow. What's that about? Okay. Hey, younger family from Ohio. All right. And Armin Delikian is telling us, I thought interest rates were quoted per year, not per loan. Oh, I thought interest rates were quoted per year and not per loan. We're going to talk about that, Armin, because your interest rates are calculated much differently than you thought on a mortgage. Okay. Yeah, it's crazy. It's not. If it was that way, it wouldn't be so much. But the formula that they're using is crazy. I need you to understand that P.I.L.L method stands for prepayment of principal, isolating the principal amounts, leverage, and liquidity. Get the book. We break this down, and in our next book, we're going to break it down even further. But what I want to show you is this: what you're seeing on the screen right now. And if you're new to the room, go to YouTube so you can see what we're doing and search P.I.L.L method. Continue to share the room so other people can come in and see what's going on. Here's the formula, folks. That's the formula that they use. And it is so powerful. It is so powerful that it makes so much money. They depend on the fact that you never understand it to continue to make trillions per month. The only way that they continue to make that kind of money is that you never understand how this works. In fact, the weakness is huge in this system. The weakness in the system is so big, you can drive a truck through it. And I'm going to show you what that weakness is today. And if I can get a few people, okay, Chelsea, from Texas, from Houston, I love it. I love it. D. Smith is here from Ohio. If you want to see the weakness in their system, I'm going to show you what the weakness is. If you want to see it, put number 9s in the chat. Wherever you are, put number 9s in the chat so I know how many people I have engaged. Because the more people that are engaged, I get energy. And listen, I can come up with more ideas. I can come up with some good ideas, some information for you. Chelsea says 9. Jenny says puts a 9 in the chat. How about you guys online? Anybody else? Is that all I can get? Is that all I can get is 2 or 3 people putting number 9s in the chat? Oh, here they come. Here they come now. Here they come now. All right. So let's get rid of somebody is just put something in here that they don't need. All right. All right. Let's get rid of that. All right. Because they're called hit and run. All right. They're called hit and run. They come in to sell something and then they leave. All right. Come in for just a second. So I see Philip in here. So listen. Okay. Here they come. Here come the number 9s now. Here they come online and in Clubhouse. All right. So we're going to get into this. All right. I'm going to show you what they're doing. All right, Philip, PhD. All right, Philip, I don't think we've met. So let me check out Philip here. All right, so, all right. Philip, I wish you would come to this stage because Philip is, he teaches STEM. All right. For the last 32 years. Listen, he understands the math that we're going to be talking about today. And I believe he understands computer science as well. So listen, anything that I say today, Philip will be able to tell you that I just lied. That's why I love people in here that understand numbers and understand computers. Okay, so let me show you what we're talking about here, folks. Let me show you the weakness in this system. And the reason why you need to know the weakness in the system, because this is their algorithm. This is what they use to charge us or to tax us at such a high rate. And to do what I need to do, I need to show you how high the rate is and how they do it. Here's what banks don't want you to know. They don't want you to know that amortized interest is deceptive. Okay. It is deceptive because you'll see the 3%, the 6%, the 7%, and you think that's all there is behind it. All right. Because there's nobody there to explain it to you. You know that something is there, like Neo in the Matrix. You know that something is there. You just can't quite put your finger on it to know what it is, to be able to explain it, to be able to understand it. Well, we're going to break it down for you today. The interest rate you are quoted is not the interest rate you pay. Here is what I mean by this. I have a $500,000 mortgage on the screen right now. $500,000. And it's at 3% for 30 years. The bank wants you to pay over 30 years, $258,887.20 interest on a $500,000 loan. Number one, does that interest amount look like 3% of the money I borrowed? $258,887. No, it's not 3% of that number. It is not. It's actually 51.77%. So here's what I'm here to tell you. Every loan at 3%, every single loan that you take out for 30 years at 3% is a 51% loan. All mortgages are set up that way. I don't care how much you borrow. So in fact, what the bank wants you to pay for is to buy a $500,000 house, but pay $758,887.20 for the $500,000 house because of the tax. 50%. If you have an interest rate, of 4%, now the tax is 71%. Now you're being taxed at a 71% rate. And we will, listen, we're smiling at the closing table because they're getting ready to hand us our keys. And I'm getting the keys, not to my house, but I'm getting the keys to a 71.87% tax. Somebody's going to make money on this deal, and it ain't me. Oh, at 5%, Now I'm getting the keys to a 93% tax. At 6%, I'm getting the keys to 115.838% tax, and no one is helping us to understand it except the P.I.L.L method. What to do? And right now, interest rates are over 7%. Anybody who has a 7% loan, you are now being taxed at 139.509%. Anybody here want to pay less tax on the house that you're buying for your family? I need you to put a yes in the chat. If you want to learn how to pay less tax, put a yes in the chat right now. Just type yes. I want to learn how. Go ahead, put it in there. I want to see it. I want you to be able to get engaged in this process so that you can know what's going on. So here's what we need to understand. Okay, here's what we need to understand. I'm going to skip this screen, and I'm going to get you to understand this thing called prepayment of principal. We all know about it. We all know that you can pay more than the minimum payment. We all know that you can do it. We all know that you pay less interest because of it. And you are in the loan for a shorter period of time. What we don't know is how much money we're saving and how much time we're cutting off. We don't know that. And the bank, okay, I'm looking into the screen again. I'm looking right into the camera. Many of you are doing what you know to pay less interest. But your bank, your credit union, your credit card company has never sent you a receipt that says, thank you for the extra payment. Here's how much interest you just saved. They don't give you that information. Because once you have it, once you know how much you can save, you'll get some ideas and you're going to start digging. Because listen, if you search with all your heart, you will get the information you're looking for. Ask for wisdom, the Bible says, and you'll get it. Ask for wisdom and you'll get it. I'm not telling you you're going to get it tomorrow. I'm not telling you you're going to get it next week. You will get it, though. Do you know how many people over the years have told us we've been praying for, hoping for, wanting and wishing for a better way to handle our debt so that we don't have to pay all this interest? And then they eventually found the P.I.L.L method. I love hearing that, because our job is to get this information out to you. So let's understand what this means. The rules are in your loan. The very rules we're talking about are in your loan, and the lending institution has to go over the rules, but they don't have to explain it to you. The lending institution itself could make it a priority to explain this to you and teach all of their employees to explain it to you. All they do is tell you that it exists. Here it is, the borrower's right to prepay. Do you know how many people ask me when I show them how much interest they can save? Oh boy, they ask me, is the bank okay with that? Can we really do that? And I point back to the paperwork that they sign, and it says here, it's your right to do this. You don't have to ask permission. It's your right. No one can take this right away from you. You signed the contract. They signed the contract. And it says here, you have the right to make payments of principal at any time before they are due. You have that right. You can make principal payments anytime before they're due, but you need to know what happens when you do that. When you don't know what happens when you do that, It takes all the excitement away. It takes all the gratification away when you don't know the results. Listen, how many of you are any lawyers? Any lawyers in here? Any doctors in here? And you've taken your exam. Any nurses in here? You've taken your exam. Any teachers in here? You've taken your exam. You've taken your exam, and you're waiting for the results on pins and needles, and the results never come. Do you get on the phone and find out this is that deflating that you don't know your results? You put in all that time and effort and you don't know the results. Oh man. That's what the bank is counting on, that you don't know the results of what you're doing. The second paragraph says, when I make a prepayment, I will tell the note holder in writing or how they need to be informed. All right. There's different ways for them to be informed, and we'll go over that when you become a client. That you're doing so. You're making a prepayment, and you're letting the bank know that this is a prepayment. You can make a full prepayment, meaning you can pay off the whole loan at any time. Done. Or you can make partial prepayments without paying any prepayment charge. Now, why would anybody do anything without knowing what the result is? Folks, we don't pay off loans just to pay them off and to check off a box. When you have a loan that charges interest, you pay it off in such a way that you do not have to pay such a high tax on borrowing the money. That's why you do what you do. If all of your loans, listen now, I'm looking into the camera again. If all of your loans were 0% interest, is there any financial benefit to paying them off early if there's 0% interest? If you're not paying any interest, you're not paying any tax. No, because all of your money goes for the very purpose that it was designed to, pay off the loan. All of your money goes. But right now, 80%, 90%, 139% of the purchase price can go to taxes because we don't understand it. The note holder, here's where it gets very powerful, folks. Here's where it gets very powerful in the third paragraph. The note holder will use all of my prepayments to reduce the amount of principal that I owe under this note. You are charged tax on the unpaid principal. So if you can give them their money, I need you to really understand what this is saying. What this is saying is you can give the bank back their money in such a way it makes it impossible for them to tax you on it. Oh, Ashley, I see you in here with your baby. Ashley Russell, thank you for being here today. Listen, you can give the bank back their money and makes it impossible for them to tax you on it. Did you know that today? Well, you're going to find out. You're going to find out that very thing. And Iris just popped in. Listen, folks, continue to share the room so people like Ashley can come in. People like Iris can come in. Go ahead and continue to share the room. All right. On Clubhouse. If you're online, share it. And if you want to see what I've got on the screen, folks, go to YouTube on a secondary device and search P.I.L.L Method, and you'll see our live broadcast. And oh, by the way, go ahead and subscribe and click that notification bell. We have over a year's worth of content there that you can watch over and over and over again. And then we're here so that we can connect you back with your money. All right. And we are that connecting force. We are that intermediary that people need to connect you back with your money. Right now, you're separated from it. We want to connect you back to it so that you can get everything out of it that you were supposed to get. Listen to this. The note holder will use all of my prepayments to reduce the amount of principal that I know under this note. If I make a partial prepayment, there will be no changes to the due date or the amount of my monthly payment. So this is it, folks. I hope I can break this down in such a way that we're just proving to you from what the bank has put in your paperwork. They're telling you, you can make it impossible for me to charge you interest or a tax on the money you borrowed if you just understand what this is. And now here's the next question I have for you. Do you want to save some money in interest or taxes? Or do you want to save the maximum amount that's mathematically possible for you and your family? Do you want to get the biggest discount you are entitled to? We're going to show you how you can get that today. Let's learn how to read an amortization schedule. That $200,000 mortgage we started with. All right. Anybody raising their hand and want to come up to the stage, please do and talk about it today. That $200,000 mortgage at 6% for 30 years, and here's where it breaks down to, out of that first payment we showed earlier, that out of every payment dollar, 83 cents out of every dollar goes to the bank in taxes that taxed you interest on your payment, 83 cents. And you're taking 17 cents out of that dollar and paying off your house. Nobody wants to do that. So here's what the bank is looking for. I want you, at the bank is saying, when you're signing this paper, and you are saying, and you're getting your keys, all right, listen, we're getting ready to move into our house, babe. But we just signed, I want to be taxed at 115.838%. I bought a house for $200,000, but I'm going to pay $431,676 for it. And you know what? We're going to be okay with that because we signed the paper. I guarantee you, you think differently about it if you were buying a truck or a car for $40,000 or $50,000, and the state taxed you, your tax on that, your sales tax on that was just as much as the truck or car. You would be up in arms. You would lead a march to your state legislature and say, this is ridiculous. But somehow the bank has been successful in getting us to buy houses this way. P.I.L.L Method is here to help you to get reconnected with your money. Let's show you how to read this thing. Some of you are here for the very first time, and I'm going to show you how to read this. I see you, King. All right. I see you, King. All right. And I see you, Cazette and Patricia. That's my wife's name is Patricia. Jennifer and Jenny, Dale and Sophie. I see all of you. I want you to be able to see this. I need you to see what we got here. I got 14 people online. I need you, every single one of you online, to share this with your family and friends. Go ahead and share it right now. And then when it's all over, okay, it will be up there. If you're watching us on YouTube, on Facebook, on Twitter, on LinkedIn, it will still be there. You can continue to share it because people need to know you need to be connected back with your money. And the only way to do it and be efficient about it is to have an intermediary. Boy, I tell you, if there are any preachers in the audience, some of you are going to be preaching this. Have mercy. All right, folks, here's what we got on the screen. If you have, your payment is $1199.10, $199.10 goes to principal. That means $1,000 goes to interest or tax. So you're paid down to $199,800.90. It is so easy to get caught up in just making the payments. Just make sure that your payments are on time so we can keep our house. All right. So if you do that, then the $199.10 is used. I'm sorry. The principal balance is used to figure out how much interest you pay on the very next line. So you owe less, so you owe less interest. So now on the very next line, month 2, $200.10 goes to principal, and $999 goes to interest. So now your principal balance on line 2 is $199,600.80. Remember what we read. That when you pay the extra amount, or if you prepay, we proved that you cannot be taxed. If you prepay, you cannot be taxed. Are you ready to see it right now? Are you ready to see what I'm talking about? If you're new, if you've been here before, you've seen it before, but listen, not from this perspective. I want to give the bank back their money in such a way that it makes it impossible for them to tax me. Here it is. So if I make that first payment, we're making that first payment in January. All right. I made the first payment in January, which means I can see, if I have this amortization schedule, I can see my second payment here. All right. My second payment right here is $200.10 that goes to principal. Now, this is not the P.I.L.L method, but it is understanding what the bank is doing to us and how we can give them money and prove they can't tax us on it. So if I'm in January, if we're in January, we made our payment, I look at the principal payment and I see the $200.10. Do you realize there's no rule that says I have to wait till February next month to give them the $200.10? There's no rule against it because it's in the paperwork. Remember, let's say I had it. Let's say I had a little money in the bank and I decided, let me give them the $200.10 early. And then what happens is they have to subtract all of that money from the principal payment. That's what the wording says. They have to subtract all $200.10 from the principal that I borrowed, and I'm paid down to line 2 in month 1. Line 2 in month 1. I'm there. Once I do that, then my next mortgage payment, you see, your principal balance tells you what to pay on the very next line of your schedule. So if I'm on line 2 in January, that means the very next line of my schedule is line 3. And I'm paying in February now, I'm paying $201.10 and $9.98 in interest. So my line 2 has been wiped out. It's been eliminated. What is happening here? Line 2 has been eliminated. I have eliminated a whole month off my amortization schedule. I just turned 360 monthly payments. That's 30 years worth of payments, 360 monthly payments into 359 monthly payments just by giving them $200.10 early. And that $9.99 in interest, I never have to pay. I just reduced the tax by $200.10. With $200.10, I just eliminated $999 worth of tax. Whoo, mercy. Anybody liking that information? Do you like that? Are you liking to hear that right now? Huh? See, listen, if you want to know how to pay back your money, all your student loans, your credit cards, your car loan, your mortgage, in such a way, using an intermediary that's going to guide your steps and cause you to walk in the statutes and keep the judgments of your loan, cause you to walk, give you instruction on how to walk this. Listen, guide your footsteps so that you can pay that money back without giving them all of that tax. Oh, we're going to show you how we're going to be that intermediary for you today to reestablish the connection with your money. $200.10 prepaid saves you $999 in interest you never have to pay and reduces your payment structure by one whole payment. What if you did this now? I got on the screen right now, folks, that I paid the first payment. I paid the first payment. And now I'm looking at this thing. What if I gave the bank the next three principal payments? $200.10. Okay. $200.10, 201.10, and 202.10. That is a total of what? 246, $603.30. What if I had it in the bank? Because it's making like 1/10 of 1% in the bank. Okay. I do that, and then what happens? What happens? What happens if I do that? Is this what happens? Do you mean I eliminate nearly $3,000 in interest I never have to pay? And my next mortgage payment is actually on line 5? Did I just reduce my taxes by I'm being taxed, folks. I'm being taxed at a very high rate when I buy this. I'm borrowing money, and the bank gets to tax me at 51%. And in the early days, they're actually taxing me at over 80%. And I've been conditioned to be okay with it. I need to know right now. How many people are in the room watching online or listening on Clubhouse. How many of you right now are tired of being taxed this way and you want to do something about it? I need to see it. I need to see it in the chat. If you are tired, go ahead and put yes. I'm tired. Yes. Go ahead and put it. I'm tired and I want to do something better than that. We deserve something better than to waste our energy, our efforts, our work product, and giving 80% of it away so only 20% of it goes to our family. I'm tired of that. Are you? Are you tired of that? All right, folks. Let's see what's going on. Let's see what we can do. And I need to break this down to you so that every single effort you put in to making every single penny you bring home is important. Some of you are complaining about the fact that you work really hard and you bring home so little. I'm here to tell you that you're going to pay way more interest than you'll ever pay in taxes. And I'm here to make sure that you get to use that money that you're being taxed, and you get to use that to invest in your family. I need you to hear this right now. If you can claw back the tax money that the bank is taking out of you and invest it properly, do you realize you can make more money through compound interest to make more money in all the interest you've ever paid in life? Get it back. And the taxes, the other taxes that you're paying to the government, how would you like to be able to earn more money from the interest that has been diverted to your own treasury? How would you like to make more money than you've ever paid in taxes to the government or taxes to the bank? You can actually make more money by diverting that money to your treasury. Oh, listen, through compound interest. Make compound interest work for you. So listen, I'm showing you now how we can get more equity for a lot less money here. Okay, let me show you this. Here's how powerful this is. I just showed you that $200 saves you about $1,000 in interest. So what we're going to show you is how every single penny is important. What if we showed you that, you don't have to put $200 down to save money? What if you just put half of that down? At this point, that would save you $500 in interest in tax money to the bank you don't have to pay. $100 here. Well, I don't have $100. I only have half of that. Even $50. See, here's the problem. Because we don't understand what we're getting for our money, we don't understand what happens when we prepay. If you only have a little bit of money, you don't bother to prepay because you don't know what it's going to do for you. We are here standing in the gap as intermediary between you and your bank to show you that for $50, you don't have to give them $250 worth of interest. That's what, as intermediary. All right. Even $12.50 saves you $75 in interest that you don't have to pay. $6.25. $6.25. A cup of coffee. $37.50 in interest that it saves. Even $3.13. Let me ask all of you this question. If you gave me, hi Liza, I see you in here. if you gave me $3.13 and I gave you back $18.75, how many times would you all do that? How many times would you do it? Oh, what? Until I cried uncle? Until I said stop? Until I run out of money? Well, let me tell you something. If you give the bank $13 on this loan, you give the bank $3.13 at this juncture, it makes it impossible for them to charge you $18.75. Impossible. You just made it impossible for you to get taxed. By using $3.13, you made it impossible to get taxed $18.75. How powerful is that today? Huh? How powerful is that? Ooh, did you hear that? How powerful is that? That's what we're talking about today. I need you. Listen, I'm not done yet. I am not done. Listen, every single penny you do not optimize or get the most out of, the bank is going to take the rest. The bank is promising you that if you don't do what you need to do.
I'm not sure I understand.
Okay, be quiet, Siri. Siri trying to talk to me because, listen, I just get so excited. Siri just came on and said, I'm not sure I understand. Let me break it down to you, Siri. For $1.56, you don't have to pay the bank $9.38. Okay. Let's just break it all the way down. A penny well placed on your mortgage, one penny well placed, can save you 7 cents in interest or tax you never have to pay. Does that tell you that every single penny in your budget is important? That it is possible to gather up the right amount at the right time and placed on this loan so that you can save the maximum amount of interest per dollar applied. Oh, listen, folks, we're standing in the gap for you today. All right. And some of you, I know that some of you have to go. All right. And if you do, make sure that you watch the replay. All right. But right now, I need to, let me check. I see Norman. Norman is in here. Norman, I see you, my brother. All right. Hope you started well. Still, yes, sir. Still dropping gems up in here. Listen, Norman, anytime you want to come to the stage, man, you come up and you talk to us. Can you listen? He was in and now he's out. All right. But that's okay. Anybody, listen, I encourage you, come to the stage and talk about what you're learning from the P.I.L.L method today. So we're going to invite Liza up. Okay. Liza, what do you have to say about what you're hearing? All right. What do you have to say about it? Good morning to you.
Hi. Hi, Don. Hi, everyone. Hi, room. Hi, Renanda. Thanks for having me on the stage. I just think like what you're saying right now, if we really think at it at like the most basic level, like I know that we all want to be like these big investors and all this is really cool. And whatever your idea is, whatever your business idea is, whatever it is to create income for yourself, for your dreams, you know, your family, the future, it's like Don is saying something at the most basic level. If we were to pay $3 at a specific time using the AI. I know I'm getting technical more.
Ooh,
I'm
you
more of
go,
a
girl, you go.
right, yeah, because it takes the guessing out of it. I don't need to guess. I don't need to guess. I can't pay attention to that. My purpose here is to serve people, connect them to other people, so I can help my clients, achieve their goals. So using this $3 will save us, let's say, whatever it was, right? It's giving us an extra $12. I just filled up my tank in gas, and I put 50 and that still didn't fill up my tank. So I just say that I believe in this. This is my most favorite room. And I thank Don so much for like presenting this to us, because at the most basic level of either it's just your mortgage, or if you don't have any mortgage but we have debt, it's to concentrate on the interest costs. It's costing us a lot. It's costing us our whole life. And they're not teaching this. We are not speaking about this with anyone. And everybody's like, this is like this weird, awkward conversation, but this is the most best, sexiest conversation that we need to be having at the most basic level with the homes that we do own, or if you're in the real estate, or if again just debt. I know that we have like the affiliate program about people that have debt over 100,000, and it's real, because we are in debt, and with whether it's student loans or different things, and at the most basic level, because we feel like we can't afford that, but we can't afford not to do this for ourselves, for the kids, for whatever it is that your purpose here. It's to get on in on this information at the most basic level and say, wow, I can go on to the Pill International, the website, and get that calculator, and it just zoom, and we can start getting some peace of mind, and we could start taking this equity that we need to put into real estate, put into schools, put into shelters, put into things that we need, for communities, for us to, get access. Let's get access to this equity. So anyways, thank you. I know I'm super busy. I'm about to go head out and I have to get into a meeting, but thank you so much. And I just, love this conversation. And I just want us to just little baby steps into those big dreams and those big goals that we can really achieve. And I definitely um want you to connect with Ice, with Don, and follow up, and like get into these rooms, get excited about this, and start, let's start getting this. Like, it's important. So thank you guys for having me. I'm Liza. I'm a realtor out in PA, but whatever. It's really just about connecting. And thanks for having me, guys. Have a wonderful day and weekend.
Thank you so much for coming in here and talking to us today. Listen, she's a realtor. She knows what she's talking about, and she's helping her clients to see this, making sure that they get my book. So she talked about, listen, she even mentioned our affiliate program. If you go to my card right now, ice10k.com, ice10k.com. If you go to that link above, the first two buttons are about our affiliate program. Some of you have been inspired. Some of you have been angered. Some of you have been fired up because of what you're hearing today. And you are so incensed that no one has been breaking this down to you like we break it down to you. And some of you want to make sure that other people get to know. If you go to that card, you see the button up there that you can become an affiliate with the P.I.L.L method for free. For free, you can become an affiliate. Once you sign up as an affiliate and you tell us how you want to get paid, because you get to choose how you want to get paid, just click one of those buttons. Anybody that has $100,000 in debt and a mortgage, if you would refer them to us using the next button, the referral card, then once they come on board, we will pay you $300. $300 for turning over a name. And it's going to be this easy. Just show them some of these videos. Go take them. If somebody who's interested in wanting to do better with their finances, okay, they have a mortgage, and in conversation, they have mentioned that, yeah, I don't want to pay all this interest. I'm not okay with how the banks are doing what they're doing, and I want to learn how to do it better. Then direct them to our YouTube channel. Once you direct them to our YouTube channel, guess what? They can then follow up with them in just 2 days, no more than 48 hours, follow up with them. Once you follow up with them, then ask them, do they want to know more? If they say yes, then you say, I'll have the guy give you a call. I'll have their team give you a call. So you get their name, you get their phone number, their email, and their zip code. Put your name in as the referral partner and submit it to us. You submit it to us. When we get that, our team will go to work. All right. They will get them to fill out the savings and earnings report, find out the month, day, and year they could be debt free, save how much interest they can save. And the interest savings pays for the program, which is a lifetime program. And you'll never have to worry about being embarrassed, because they'll also get in writing a lifetime guarantee that whatever numbers we give them and saying that this is what we promise to do for you, we must do. We guarantee your results. It's one of the only programs out there that if you follow it, we will guarantee your results, or you don't pay for a lifetime. Well, Don, if we pay off our mortgage in 7 years, why are you offering a lifetime guarantee? Oh, because that may not be the only purchase you have. You can keep on using this program. Some people get into real estate investing. They pay off their first house in about 7 years. They buy another one and put renters in the first one. And then, once you plug in your information on that house, based on that contract you have with us, we have to pay that one off in the numbers that appear at the top of the screen. We have to do that. Guaranteed in writing. That's how we do business. And if the program ever fails to do that, even if you've paid off 10 houses already, and on house number 11, the program fails to operate properly and we can't fix it, money back. It's a promise. It's in writing. That's what we do. And in 17 years that we've been doing this, no one has been disappointed in our program when they follow the instructions. No one. That is why on our Better Business Bureau, no complaints. No complaints at all, ever, not even one. Folks, you can't beat that with a stick. Let's get back into this thing. Anybody else here want to come up to the stage as we get into this thing? All right. So for yourselves, go ahead and sign up as an affiliate. Also, get your own savings and earnings report. Know the month, day, and year you could be debt free on your mortgage, your student loans, your credit cards, car loans, everything in an average of 7 to 9 years. Some do it before 7 years, some a little longer than 9 years, but the average is right in there. That's the sweet spot. Pay off everything, not just the mortgage, everything, because we're going to show you how to pay less tax. We're going to be your intermediary to get that done. I need to show you now. Okay. Now in the last few minutes that we have with you today, because I told you we have for you. All right. Where's our program? Okay, where did it go? Here it is. Boom. Let me bring that over. We're an education company, folks, but we use technology. We're an education company, but we use technology. If you want to see the technology, you heard a little bit about the education. If you want to see the technology, make sure you go to YouTube right now so you can see what we're talking about. Okay. This is the technology that makes it all happen. And what we're doing is we're optimizing the amount of money that you have by waiting a certain period of time to put money on the debt. We don't put money on debt every single month, only at strategic times during the year. And do you know that if you are familiar with the chat AI, the chat GTP, okay, or is it GPT? Which is it? Okay, I get confused. All right, but if you're familiar with it, I put this information into the chat to the AI system, and I asked it, what is the best way to save money on interest if you have a mortgage? Do you know it described our program to a T? Is the only program out there that does this. The only program in the world. This is specifically written to mathematically make sure you pay the least amount of interest possible for you. This is it right here. So let me give you an example. This is John and Rebecca Jones, and here's what they're doing. Here's what they're doing. What we need to do, I'll give you the basics of it. What we need to do is manage you and track your income and your outgo. We're just going to track it. Here's what budgeting really means, folks. Here's what budgeting means. It doesn't mean scarcity. It doesn't mean restriction. What it means is I need to count the cost. How much am I spending each month? How much am I making? You need to know. You need to know how much is coming in. You need to know how much is going out. Does that make sense to you that you actually know how much you're making? I mean, we get so used to putting money in the bank and then just spending it. Do you know how many people I talk to? They don't even know how much they make. They've lost track. They don't even know how much. I said, well, on your last paycheck, how much are you making? Most people I ask that don't know. They have to go look to find out. Some are quite surprised that they make so much money. Isn't that something? So John and Rebecca Jones, we have them tracking their income and their outgo here. So we can see 3 months at a time. All right. That's what we can see 3 months at a time. And when we're taking that look at that, I'm starting in October. I'm sorry, November, starting in November, and we're going all the way to January. And so we just track how much money they're making and how much money they're spending. So we're going to change this. I need to show you what's going on here. And here is what they know to be true. We just put all of their information into our cloud-based AI system. Artificially intelligent system. It is not a spreadsheet because a spreadsheet is not artificially intelligent. A spreadsheet only takes information from you and then gives you an output. An artificially intelligent program gives you directions, prompts you to do something. It says, let me process the data and then let me give you something to do that's going to optimize your results. So every time you do something that the program prompts you to do, it'll be a different amount in a different month, on a different day of the month, because it keeps track of how much you're spending for food and electricity and gasoline, and how much you're making. Did you get any? Did you get a bonus? Did you make overtime? So the program is constantly adjusting based on the new information you give it so that it can optimize its next instruction to you. Move this much money in this month on this day of the month and attack this loan to the penny, because I showed you even 1 penny can save you 7 cents. Okay, to the penny, so that you can maximize the amount of interest that you can save per dollar. What does that mean? Per dollar. Per dollar means this. If we figured out that the most you could save per dollar when applied to principal, that you could save $6.27 per dollar applied if you do it the right way, optimize your results, what you're getting back out of it. Why would you ever want to do anything if you have the same budget? Why would you ever want to do anything and only receive $4 for every dollar you apply? If I can get $6.27, why would I settle for 4? And the reason why you don't know the difference is because you don't have a tool that tracks what you're doing. You can't optimize, you can't improve on something that you cannot measure. There it is. You've got to be able to measure your results and do all sorts of things to figure out what are the best results I need. Because once you give money to this loan, you're going to get results. Once you save up money, you're going to get results. So what the program has to do is take a look at all the money you have that you've saved up from your, let's break this down. Let me show you what I'm talking about here, because now I'm getting all excited again. So John makes $950, okay? And he makes $950. His mortgage is $1,199.10. That's a $200,000 mortgage. And you see he's got his utilities in here. He's got finance charge that has to be applied to Visa. And here's Rebecca's paycheck. They're putting all of this together to pay off their loans. So let's take a look at their accounts. We're going to click on accounts and break it and take a look at this thing and see what's going on. They have $500 in checking. They have in savings, they have $5,138.89. Now, just because they have this, the program is going to give them projected results on that. Okay. Because here are their loans. They owe $25,000 on their car at 4%. Here's the payment. They owe $2,000 on their Visa at 21%, and they have a $200,000 mortgage at 6%. This program, once we plug all that in, here's what you see at the top. You will save at least $179,432 in interest if you follow our program, and we guarantee it. Okay? They will pay off their loans without sacrificing lifestyle, not in 30 years, but in 7.7 years, and we guarantee it in writing just by following it. Why? Because this number, the amount of interest that you save, the amount of taxes you don't pay to your bank, because of the intermediary standing in the gap, connecting you with your money so that you can, listen, you have been put in charge. You have dominion over your money. When you lose that perspective, your money has dominion over you. Never lose that perspective. The perspective is you make it, you manage it. And when you manage it well, you do well for your family and for your for now and for the future. Oh my goodness. Watch this. Watch this. So this is what we're talking about. What do you need? What do you need? You need a tool. You need an educational system and a whole program to stand in the gap for you, because you have been taught from birth. From birth, you've been disconnected from your money. From birth, you've been disconnected from it. And now we're trying to connect you back in the most efficient way possible, using a tool that is designed to do just that. So Don, we don't need a tool. We can do whatever we want. Yeah, but it'll take you longer and cost you more. Yeah. You don't need a car to get back and forth to work. Yeah, but try walking. You don't need a phone to communicate. Yeah, I don't need a phone. Yeah. Well, smoke signals that went out. You can't do that. Okay. So what we're doing is if this is the next, this is the next innovation in managing your money well, to make sure you pay the least amount of tax as possible so that you can acquire the same assets for a lot less money. So they're going to pay, look at this. The bank wanted $179,432 from them that they're not going to get. And all they're doing is managing the same budget that they use to qualify for the loan. They use the same budget to qualify for the loan. And do you know, let me talk to you about how conditioned we are. Do you know more people ask us more questions about how I'm saving them $179,000 than they asked the bank when they were signing up for this thing? Why are we paying $179,000 more than we need to? And they gladly signed it and put a big down payment on it to be able to do this. They paid the bank so that the bank can overcharge them by 75%. Lord have mercy. And I'm going to show them how to save all of this money. And they ask me more questions about this than they ask the bank. Isn't that something? Because all you have to do is this. If we went, let me show you one thing here. I'm going to pull up Bing. Okay? Bing is starting to use AI in its algorithm to do search. And we're going to put P.I.L.L method in here. Okay, P.I.L.L method. There it is. P.I.L.L method. Look. First thing that comes up when you put in P.I.L.L method, the first thing that comes up is everything P.I.L.L method. P.I.L.L method International. P.I.L.L method is a systematic approach to learning how to read and understand the language in which amortized loans are written. That's the first thing that come up. Not contraception, but our company. That's how important this information is to you. And you keep searching here. Oh, there it is. That's what you see when you put P.I.L.L method in Bing. You see this company, you see our videos, and it just keeps going. You see our book. Okay. You see more videos. You see the book again. Let's go back. Let's get out of here. All right. And let's Google it. P.I.L.L method. We'll Google it. And what comes up? Again, P.I.L.L method is at the top of the page. All right. Everything P.I.L.L method. More pictures, more information, more about the book, wherever we are. And this is what's happening. And contraception is on page 2. So what we have here is important, folks. What we're talking about is important. We're standing in the gap and connecting you back to your money to reduce the amount of tax that you pay. And here is what we're talking about here. I'm going to show you this. And we're going back to the budget, seeing how much they're paying. Here's how much money they're making. Okay. And here's how much money they're paying every month. And this is what they have left over approximately. And this is what you need to know. How much am I making? How much am I paying out to make sure I do everything with my family I want to do? We're not cutting out anything. We're not cutting out the baseball games. We're not cutting out having fun. We're not cutting out vacations. What we need to do is just schedule it in our monthly budget. Put in how you want to live your life in the budget as number 1. Put it in there. And then pay the rest of the bills. Any money that's left over, let's put it in the bank. Oh, by the way, we're still talking about putting money away for savings for the future. We've taken care of that too. All right. So after all that is done, they have about $1,300 left over every month. So here's what the program is saying is that once John gets paid, he's telling the program, Oh, I made my $950. And when I click execute, tell the program that I did, it disappears from the screen and it gets added to the checking account in the program. Okay. Now he has $1,450 in the bank account, which to pay bills with. And then when we go back here, now the next thing to do is pay the mortgage and subtract $1,199.10 from his checking account at the bank. We must also subtract it from the virtual checking account so that we can keep track of what's going on, and that is subtracted. All right. So when the program knows how much money you have, it also knows when you have more money than you need that month to pay bills with. So when you see these little arrows here, this is the AI prompting you, saying, take $100.90, no more, no less, $100.90 here for John and Rebecca Jones, and put it in savings. From checking to savings, $100.90. And let it stay there. And then pay some more bills, okay? Because Rebecca got paid. Pay some more bills, pay the phone. Oh, when Rebecca gets paid, guess what? Now we have $388.72 in checking we don't need for anything else. So the program says, put that in savings too, so that we can optimize the money's use. Remember, you've taken care of everything in the month, everything you needed to take care of, including the fun you have with your family. Then take the $388.72 you don't need to spend and put it in the savings account. Well, Don, if we got extra money, why aren't we putting on the debt now? This is why. And I asked the AI system this too. I asked the AI. So let me see here. Let me pull this up. Okay. CHAT. Okay. There it is. Boom. That's ours. Okay. That's for the chat GPT. So we asked that. We asked the chat GTP information about how we do business, and it came back and described our program to a T. The AI, I asked the AI about our AI system, and they said, well, if we were going to build one, we'd build it like this. Oh my goodness. Do you know listen, we have to put that in advertising. That's got to become part of our marketing. We got to tell people. So watch this. So now we're putting $388.72 in, and we're paying the rest of the bills. We didn't pay any extra on the debt this month. So let me show you what happens. So the program will then, let me show you. It says, if you start out in November, by January 7, you'll have the right amount of money to put towards the debt to save you the most money in interest per dollar. So here's what we're doing. Let's scroll down and take a look at January 7 and see what happens. So now the AI system, our AI system is telling the program, take money from the savings account and pay the Visa off to zero. When we do that, I need you to see something. It's going to do another calculation. And because you do that, folks, you are going to save $1,736.34 in interest. You don't have to pay the bank in their bank tax. That's interest, bank tax. That's money you don't have to pay them. If you were to pay them that money back the way that they want you to pay it, you would also have to give them the $1,736.34. But because you gave it back to them in a way which made it impossible for them to charge you the bank tax, you can do something else with that money. You can now invest it in your family. Okay, I'm going to get to that. It's going to be the last thing we go over. So let's go back down there because we weren't done. Right now, we have over $5,000 in our savings account, but the program said take out a little more than $3,000 and apply it to the debt. Why not the whole $5,000? I asked the chat GPT that. Why not all of it? Do you know, start talking about the law of diminished return? There's a point at which more is too much. you actually ruin the calculation so that you save less per dollar if you put more on at the wrong time. I asked the AI system about what our AI system came up with to save money. Oh boy, that was tremendous. That was tremendous. So watch this. John and Rebecca Jones have been told to put $1,116.98 on the debt. Let me bring this up, make it a little bit bigger. And I'm going to bring the calculator up so that we can know what to do too. And it says, if you do this, you're going to save $5,435.91 in interest. Okay. And so why stop here at 98 cents? You could actually easily round that up to the next dollar. You can easily round this up to $1,200. You can do a lot of things, but let's find out what our AI system was attempting to do. In the short run, with the amount of money that you have available, now's the time to put it on the debt. Here's the month, here's the day to do it, and here's the amount to the penny. So how much interest can we save? 5,400. If you're new to the room, go to YouTube so you can see this right now. Here's how much interest we're saving: $5,435.91 right there. We're reconnecting you to your money. Reconnecting you. We're standing in the gap. We're the intermediary that is important to have to optimize the use of your money. And so now we're going to divide it by $1,116.98. When we do that, we find out that we're saving $4.87 per dollar. And we break it down like this. This is how the computer sees it. 4.866666135, all of those numbers. Okay. So this is the most you can save at this point per dollar in this loan's life. Right here, right now, this amount. $4.87. We round because of the 0.866. Now, what if we wanted to do this? I'm going to tell the system, I got over $5,000 in. Let's do the calculation on that. Why don't we just pay $5,000 and see what that says? And so when we recalculate, it says, if you do $5,000 out of your savings account that's making 1/10%, do you realize you can save $23,000 in interest instead? They have over $5,000 in the bank, but the program said, stop here, only pay that amount. Well, let's see what happens. I'm going to take the $23,000, $38. Oh, you need to see this, 0.66, and divide it by $5,000 that I pay to get that. Divide it by 5,000 equals $4.60. We're saving less money per dollar. The whole idea is optimization. And this is an optimization program. In fact, the AI, the chat AI says that you need an optimization program to do what you're trying to do. Because without an optimization program, you put any amount of money on and you don't know what it's doing. Once you have an optimization program, you're always going to save the maximum amount of money per dollar applied. And that's important. So let me show you something. I got $179,000 here in interest saved. Do you see this number? $179,432. If we follow the program, that's the maximum amount of interest we can save by following the program, putting the right amount of money at the right time. Let me show you what happens if we decide to put $5,000 on now instead of waiting. Let me show you that the program says move that money on January 7th. Well, I'm not going to wait till the 7th. I'm going to give my loan more money now. I'm going to do it on the first of the month, and I'm going to pay $5,000 because I have it in the bank. and I want to save 23 grand. Watch how it affects the 179,432. Let's watch the last three numbers here, the 432, when we execute that. Okay, execute. We're going to pay this to the loan. The 179,432 goes to 179,324. We're actually saving less money overall with this one move. Folks, there are hundreds of moves we're going to be making, thousands of financial moves in the next 7 years. The life of this loan is 30 years. We're going to be making thousands of moves. And each move that this program makes, this AI system makes, is designed to save you the most amount of money that it possibly can. And when you do that, I'm going to reset this account now. And then I'm going to show you this last thing in the last 4 minutes that we have with you today. Okay? The last thing here, we're going to reset it. If we follow the bank's program, it's going to cost us a ton of interest. But if we follow this program, we're going to be out of debt in 7.7 years. So if we're supposed to be out of debt in 30 years that the bank wants, then we'll be out of debt add 30 years to this, add 30 years to right now, we'll be out of debt in 2053. 2053. Let me show you something here. We're going to go to reports. We're going to go to net worth. I'm going to click on that, and I want to show you wealth accumulation. Now, remember, we're supposed to be out of debt in 2053, but we're going to be out of debt in 7.7 years. If we just take a look at when we're supposed to be out of debt, and remember when I said if we could claw back that interest money that we were saving, okay? What if there was a way that a whole system designed to put you back in control of your money was there, standing in the gap, being the intermediary between you and your money, making that connection, said, if you follow what we're telling you, if you walk in the footsteps that we're giving you, if you follow the prompts, if you follow the program, walk in my statutes and keep my judgments, if you do that, here's what happens by the year 2030. You'll have $22,000 in your investment at 1% return on your money. By 2050, when most people are supposed to be out of debt, using that money that would have gone to the bank by 2050, there it is. And this is at 1% return on your money. $760,169.13. And I guarantee you for this family, that's more money than they've ever paid in interest in life up to this point, and more money than they've ever paid in taxes up to this point. They got it all back and then some. That's what we're talking about. I want to thank everybody for being here. We're going to hear, and if you want to know more about this, go ahead and click on that link. Get your savings and earnings report today. Get back in control of your money. Stop being taxed at 80%, 90%, 139%. Stop it. Stop it today. Get in charge of your money so you can take that money, get back in charge, invest that money that you were giving to the bank so that you can now invest in your family's future and create some real generational wealth with money that was supposed to go to the bank. We're going to hear from Dr. Eric Thomas right now, one last time before we go, and then we're going to say goodbye until Sunday. Thank you very much for being here, folks.
Listen to me, y'all. But one of his mentees took us through one of their programs, and I paid off my mortgage. But guess what happened? My marriage went to a whole nother level. And you know why? Because my wife is a security freak. And even when I blew up, my wife would be like, oh, you blew up, but how long is you gonna keep making this kind of money? I was like, I don't know, forever. She's like, you sure? Because I'm gonna keep my license as a nurse just in case you don't. So when I paid the house off, my boy was like, you ain't gotta do that, you can do this. But when I paid the house off using that program, it took the stress level all the way down for my wife because we no longer had a mortgage. Does that make sense? That thing that was coming every month, that was getting on her nerves, we didn't have that no more. And so she was at rest.